Zacks Screen of the Week, an overview of a timely stock screening strategy aimed at helping you produce more profitable investing results. This week's screen is called Just What the Doctor Ordered, Utilities. The doctor in this case is Kevin Matras, our top stock screener and head of the Research Wizard division at Zacks.com. So your doctor prescribed utilities for you recently? Is that what happened?
You know, I started running this screen back in July of 2007.
Took you that long?
Well, I put the screen together just as the market was showing its first few cracks in the market. And when I put it together, it wasn't really designed to be a trading strategy per se, but rather a way to help me find the best sector, the best industries, and therefore the best stocks that were demonstrating the most resiliency, the ones that were holding up the best as the market started to sell off.
Okay.
Back then when I first ran the screen, I think the medical sector was the best sector, hence the name, just what the doctor ordered.
Okay.
But since then, I have featured this screen several times. There has been a bunch of different sectors that have come through, and I like to run this screen on a very regular basis to see which sectors and which industries are assuming the new leadership roles. It's a catchy name for a screen, so I kept the title, but the top sector that's coming through the screen now is utilities. And again, the whole purpose for this screen is to find the sectors and the industries that are showing the greatest amount of resiliency, showing the greatest amount of outperformance. These are the groups that should respond the best.
All right, Dr. K, what are the parameters to this screen?
All right, let's check it out. The screen starts off by looking at companies with a price of greater than or equals to $5, and I want to make sure that it has an average volume of at least 100,000 shares or more. Then I specifically screen for the sector with the greatest relative price change over the last 4 weeks. Basically, I'm looking for the sector that has performed, on average, the best in comparison to the S&P 500. From there, I narrow that sector down to only those stocks with a Zacks rank of a 1, a 2, or a 3. And again, the Zacks rank is one of the best rating systems out there, so this automatically puts the odds in my favor. For good measure, I also make sure the stocks have positive earnings estimate revisions over the last 4 weeks for both Q1 and F1, or at the very least, no negative revisions. Studies have shown that stocks with rising earnings estimates outperform the market. Then I narrow that list down even more by looking for the top 20 stocks within the top sector based on the relative percent change in price over the last 4 weeks. So again, first I looked for the best sector based on the average relative percent change in price over the last 4 weeks. Then I zero in on the best 20 stocks within that sector. And then finally, I cull this list down to the top 10 stocks within that sector's medium-sized industry. Again, also based on the relative percent change in price over the last 4 weeks. And this week, this screen produced 14 stocks.
Whoa, that's a lot of stocks. We're only going to press you for one right here.
Yes. One of the stocks that came through this week was a company called New Jersey Resources Corp., ticker symbol NJR, and they are an exempt energy services company that provides retail and wholesale natural gas services and other related energy services to customers from the Gulf Coast to New England. If you take a look at their fundamentals, they have a Zacks rank of a number 1, which is a strong buy. Their earnings estimates have been revised higher for both Q1, F1, and F2 over the last 4 weeks by 2.5%, 3.9%, and 2.2% respectively. Very impressive given what's been happening in the market. Their PE ratio using the F1 estimates is at 16.4, and their stock is up 24% over the last 4 weeks versus the S&P's only 0.34%.
Pretty cool.
If you look at a chart, you can see that the stock has begun a new uptrend since late October, and the stock keeps on moving higher, so it looks very, very strong. I like the stock.
Does anyone in your household own the stock?
No, I don't.
All right. There are other stocks that have come through the screen, as we just mentioned a moment ago, and you can see which ones they were by going to Zacks.com and by linking to Kevin's piece, his text piece, right off of our homepage. You know, the key to successful screening is in discovering those screens that have produced positive and profitable results in the past, and Kevin uses Zacks' powerful research wizard stock screening and backtesting software program to achieve all of the screens that he talks about with us here on Screen of the Week. And you can learn more about the Research Wizard by going to Zacks.com/Research Wizard. I encourage you to do that. With Kevin Matras, I'm Terry Ruffalo.